Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Natural Resource Management's Award and Scholarship Reception. And tonight we're going to honor our outstanding undergraduate students along with our donors who make it all possible. I am Michelle Dudash, and I have the privilege of serving as the department head of Natural Resource Management, and I've been here 8 years. And we are once again live streaming and recording this event. So if you have friends and family who would like to view it later, we have a YouTube channel you can visit. First of all, I want to extend a warm welcome to all our donors, alumni, friends, and awardees. It really is a delight to be here this evening in such a pretty place because McCrory Gardens is so welcoming. Now, and we have some special university guests who are with us right now. Right now, we have Dean Joe Cassidy. Dean serves as the Dean of College Ag and Food Environmental Sciences. We have, so thank you. We have the Associate Dean for Academics, Jim Connors, who's new in the last few months to our college. And then we have the Associate Dean of Research of our college, John Blanton. And so let's give them a warm round of applause. We're so happy they're here. So Natural Resource Management is currently the home to about 305 undergraduates, and we have 5 academic programs that we administer: conservation planning and park management, ecology and environmental sciences, natural resource law enforcement, rangeland ecology and management, and wildlife and fisheries sciences. We also have a learning living community to help recruit and retain our students in Pearson Hall. It gives me great pleasure to introduce some of the faculty you're going to meet this evening who are going to help with the presentations. But first, I want to say we have some amazing staff that have helped put this all together. We have Amanda Hoover here in the front. We have Beth Byrie is hiding somewhere. She's normally hiding. She's in the lobby. And the person who has orchestrated this is Jiyoung Kim back there. And she deserves a round of applause. You'll understand it, students, once you look at your packets. Okay, okay. Now, the faculty I'd like to introduce are Chris Cheek. He's a fisheries scientist in the department, and Chris is in the back there, okay. Steve Chips, he's a fisheries scientist. He's the unit leader for the USGS co-op unit. Allison Coulter is another fisheries scientist. There's Allison over there. Dave Coulter is a wetland ecologist and aquatic scientist. Bruce Eichhorst is an instructor. He's a wildlife instructor. That's his area of expertise. Amanda Hoover is our professional undergraduate advisor and undergraduate program coordinator. Josh Leffler is a plant physiological ecologist. And I couldn't put all the titles of everything everyone does, so I'm hitting on one. Laura Perkins is a restoration ecologist. Bill Severud is a large mammal ecologist. Sandy Smart is a rangeland ecologist. Lon Shu is a plant and range ecologist. Jennifer Zavaleta Cheek is Human Dimensions of Natural Resource Management, and she also leads our CPPM program. I know. Oops, wait a minute. Okay, it's not working. Did it? Hit it. Do we do that? Okay, we're on that. Okay, sorry, we practiced. And I also wanted to take a moment to introduce you to the faculty that weren't able to be here. So we have, we'll go from left to right. We have 3 faculty who are based West River in Rapid City. Krista Ehrlich, and she's the state range specialist and a rangeland ecologist. We have Jeff Martin, and he's everything bison, and he is West River as well. And then we have Rachel Short, who's been trained as a community ecologist, and she is our representation in the WISIPAN program, West River, which is a collaboration between SDSU and Crazy Horse. And then Amanda Cheeseman is at the Wildlife Society National Meetings right now presenting work. And Joshua Stafford is a USGS Assistant Unit Leader, and he's a waterfowl specialist. Yes. Okay. Our department also hosts 6 student clubs. And I wanted to bring this up because they are doing so much. They had a great float for homecoming. They are very engaged and interactive. And so we have Wildlife and Fisheries Conservation Club, the Botanical Society of America Student Club, the Ecology Club. You've got the Range Club, Pheasants Forever, and Natural Resource Law Enforcement. So we have a very active group, and it's really a lot of fun in the department, right? Yeah, okay. Okay. So we are here to highlight our collective commitment to managing and conserving our natural resources by training the next generation of land managers, park naturalists, biologists, conservation officers, and scientists, just to name a few of the opportunities that our programs provide to our students. And at this time, I would like all donors and contributors to these awards and scholarships to please stand so we can publicly acknowledge your ongoing commitment to our students and department. Okay, Dave, Dwayne, Bob, Mary. That's the problem when I get to know you. Okay, so now we're going to start with the formal presentations. You do have a program there, and it's immediately going to change because President Dunn does award a scholarship in our programs, and we are going to award his when he arrives. But he is a very busy gentleman. So he did? Oh my goodness. Talk about timing. Is he really? Oh my gosh. Okay, so we will start with the first award, but let me explain how it's going to work. Oh, thank you. All right. So we are donors and awardees. Come on in. I should have said come on down, but hi, come on in. Okay, so President Dunn and Jane are here. We're delighted to have you. So there are other esteemed guests. All right. And so when you come up and receive your scholarship, you're going to get a packet and you're going to go right over there and have your picture taken. If your donor is here, they are going to join you. The faculty member that presented it might not be joining you because we're trying to have them present a few awards. And we're trying to get close-ups because we send these pictures out to all the donors. Okay? So our first award, I'm the first one. Okay. Uh-oh, now we're going to. I'm presenting the Alvin Huck Family Scholarship Endowment in Natural Resource Management. This scholarship was established in 2019. Joyce Huck and Paul Bricks reside in Ramona, California. And when I spoke to Joyce, she had just arrived in Prague. So I was able to tell her some of my favorite beer when I was speaking to her on the phone. She actually answered the phone, which I thought was pretty fun. And the criteria is a sophomore or above pursuing a major within NRM. And I'm very pleased to present this award to Cheyenne Masterson from Hartford, South Dakota. All right, the next award, and I'd like Barry and Jane to come up if they'd like, is the Barry and Jane Dunn Scholarship in Range Science in memory of Claude V. Lamoureux. And please come up if you'd like to say a few words. This scholarship was established in 2010. Claude was born, may I read this? Is that all right? Claude was born in 1893 on a ranch on Rosebud Indian Reservation in South Dakota. He graduated from high school in Valentine, Nebraska, and began ranching near Rosebud, South Dakota with his wife and children. During the Great Depression, Claude moved his family to Sioux City, Iowa, and worked as a livestock commission salesperson in Sioux City stockyards. Following World War II, Claude returned to the Rosebud and started the L7 Ranch Company. He was an active conservationist and reseeded thousands of acres of farm ground back to native grasses. Claude was a leader in his community and the cattle industry until his death in 1973. And this scholarship is given by his grandson, Barry H. Dunn, who followed in his footsteps in a pretty remarkable way. So would you like to, and you want to present the award? Would you like to say who your presenter is? And a few words, please.
Well, I'll say a few words and just really great to be with you tonight. Very, very proud of all of you, proud of this department. It means a lot to me. I see some great friends here tonight. So down, up. I had the incredible opportunity in life to see conservation at the ground level as a child and see what it meant. And I got to enjoy the benefits of it as I ranched that my grandfather had done. And so it was a great experience, and I just really proud of all that you do. And I hope you become the students passionate conservationists and make the world a better and better place, and return some of it to the way it really should be. So thanks for sharing your evening with us. And tonight Jane and I are proud to present our scholarship to Caitlin Presler from Roscoe.
I have one more. Okay, so the last scholarship, you get a break from me in a moment, is the Bob and Carol Hanton Endowed Scholarship in Fisheries. The scholarship was established in 2009. Bob Lee Hanton attended SDSU and later worked for the Department of Game, Fish, and Parks as a fisheries biologist in 1961, and soon became chief of fisheries until his retirement in 1997. Hanton served the people and fisheries resources of South Dakota for more than 35 years. He guided the growth of the department's fish culture capability from the old hatchery to 3 modern fish culture facilities, and was intimately involved in the Missouri River development plans that modernized recreational access to the Missouri River. Hanton was also instrumental in developing a cooperative research program with SDSU's Department of Wildlife and Fisheries Sciences and Biology Department at USD. Hanton fought for and attained the water rights for an allocated stream flow in the name of all people of South Dakota. He felt that everyone had a right to have running water in the streams of their state. Through his leadership, South Dakota has become noted for its quality fishing, attracting 3 million angler visits each year. And I am pleased to present this award to Lauren Alex. Is she here? No? Okay. Lauren wasn't able to join us unexpectedly this evening. Okay. Dave Coulter will be presenting the next group.
Our next award is sponsored by the Brookings Wildlife Federation, and Bob and Elise Kurtz are here to represent the Brookings Wildlife Federation. So Bob is in the corner there. The Brookings chapter of the National Wildlife Federation has presented this award since 1987. The scholarship goes to an outstanding wildlife and fisheries science sophomore. The award is based on academic performance and professional activities. The Brookings Wildlife Federation is interested in a wide array of wildlife-related issues. The Federation provides conservation and education services to the Brookings County area by funding, organizing, and participating in local conservation activities and educational events for youth and adults, recognizing professionals and laypersons for conservation of natural resources, and advocating the perspectives of outdoor recreationists during legislative sessions at the local and state levels. This year, our recipient is Austin Angenbretson from Forest City, Iowa. Our next award is the Clifford and Alice Falcon Scholarship. This scholarship was established in 2015. Clifford Falcon was a veteran of World War II. His unit was the first soldiers to arrive overseas when the war broke out. After serving almost 5 years, he returned to South Dakota and married Elise Anderson. They lived most of their life in Dual County, South Dakota. Clifford farmed most of his life and was a true sportsman who loved the outdoors. After the farm work was done, Clifford would be off hunting, trapping, and fishing, and Alice was there to cook whatever Clifford brought home from his outings. The family of Clifford and Alice wanted them to be remembered for their love of the outdoors and wildlife by these scholarships. This year, our recipient for the Clifford and Alice Falcon Scholarship is Emma Schwart from Jordan, Minnesota. Our next award is the David Bartling Scholarship in Wildlife and Fisheries Sciences. This scholarship was established in 2005. This endowed fund provides a scholarship annually to a sophomore, junior, or senior wildlife and fisheries sciences major. Mr. Bartling instituted this scholarship because of his interests in students and natural resources. David Bartling was born in Brookings and graduated from Brookings High School in 1972. He graduated from SDSU in 1976 with a bachelor's degree in park management. Dave was a park ranger in Utah and a park manager in South Dakota's state park system from 1978 to 1990. Dave became a conservation officer in 1990 and currently is the conservation officer in Dual County for South Dakota's Department of Game Fish and Parks. In 2002, Dave received the Game Fish and Parks Boating Officer of the Year Award, and he was named South Dakota's Wildlife Conservation Officer of the Year in 2004. This year, our recipient is Calvin Carter from Grand Island, Nebraska. Our next award is the David J. Holden Memorial Scholarship, and this scholarship was established in 1988. Dr. Holden, a Webster, South Dakota native and professor emeritus of biology at SDSU, served for 31 years in the department. He was department head in the botany department from 1958 to 67, and he received his BS from SDSC in 1950 and his PhD from the University of Chicago in botany. During his tenure here, he did natural area surveys in the Dakotas. One of the outcomes of his efforts was his book, Dakota Visions. He worked closely with the Nature Conservancy and was instrumental in the establishment of 6 native prairie preserves in South Dakota. Both ardent naturalists, Dave and Nelda, led Christmas bird counts field trips for many years. In 1983, Dave was presented the John Robertson Memorial Award in Horticulture for his work in preservation of native prairie plants. This scholarship is administered by South Dakota's Ornithologists Union and is awarded to an applicant demonstrating an interest in preserving our biological natural heritage with emphasis in plant ecology or environmental biology. This year, our recipient is Aubrey Hagan from T, South Dakota, and Aubrey was unfortunately unable to attend tonight, so she and Nelda Holden will be having a meeting later on to receive the award.
So the Dr. Robert A. Clem Memorial Scholarship Endowment was established in 2015 in memory of Rob Clem. Rob was the project leader for the Fish and Wildlife Service and peer for a number of years. But he had a lot of close ties with SDSU. He was an adjunct professor here. He mentored a number of grad students and undergraduate students. So he had a real strong influence on our department back then. And Rob was also pretty fundamental in leading federal research efforts with the federally endangered Pallas sturgeon. He was very passionate about sturgeon and what needed to be done on the Missouri River. So a lot of things we're doing now are a reflection of some of the stuff that Rob got established 10 or 12 years ago. He was native from Wisconsin, so I always bothered him about that, but you know, he was okay with it. He got his BS and MS degrees from University of Wisconsin, then went on to Cornell University where he got his PhD. And his background was studying fish energetics and fish growth and those type of things. I don't know, I guess we do. Yeah, got a picture of Rob. So after he finished up at Cornell, he headed to South Dakota. And along the way, he always took the opportunity to kind of promote his career. So I don't know, this picture might be a little small, but the writing there, he had this old tatter sign he would haul around with him. And every time there was a Fish and Wildlife Service office, a state or federal office, he'd stop out and jump out and grab his sign. And it says, "We'll model fish populations for food." And so he didn't need to do that. He got a full-time job with the Fish and Wildlife Service. But anyway, he was quite the guy. So in honor of this award, I'm pleased to present it to somebody really deserving of this. She worked with Pallas sturgeons this summer up in the upper Montana, upper Missouri River Basin. So Elise Anderson.
You can.
Well, I'll stop with that.
After you're done.
Yeah, makes it more efficient. All right. See what happens when you're not fully fledged into the undergrad program. So the Ecology Environmental Science Scholarship. The scholarship was established in 2013. The Ecology Environmental Science Scholarship Fund has been established and maintained with kind contributions from alumni and SDSU faculty and friends and some private supporters of the SDSU Ecology Environmental Science program. The sole purpose of the fund is to provide scholarships to students like those in the room to support their activities in pursuing the major and encourage high academic achievement and supporting sustainable natural resource management. So I'm pleased to present this award this evening to Addison Borka from Minnesota. Addison. So the Elvin and Eloise Borkland Memorial Scholarship. This was initiated and endowed in 2000. The scholarship's provided in memory of the Borklands by their two sons, Dick and Don. And I don't know if Dick and Don are here. Elvin Borkland graduated from SDSU with a degree in civil engineering in 1930 and began a lifelong career with Soil Conservation Service with USDA in 1935 and continued in that role until 1971 when he retired. Ethel Eloise Nelson Borkland graduated from SDSU with a degree in economics in 1930. She taught at the Arlington High School and then Northwest College of Commerce in Huron until she retired in 1970. Elvin and Eloise were married in 1934. So during those 35 years, Elvin and Eloise developed a lifelong commitment to the environment and conservation issues. And in their memory, I'm pleased to present this award to Sophia Twyla from Glencoe, Minnesota. Sophia.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Zavaleta Cheek, and I have the pleasure of awarding the Geneva Kettering Hoag and Jerome O. Hoag Scholarship. It was initiated in 2011 to provide a scholarship to a student majoring in wildlife and fisheries sciences with a preference for a student from the Aberdeen area of South Dakota. Geneva Kettering Hoag established this scholarship with a desire to support enthusiastic, curious college students with a desire to study wildlife and fisheries sciences. Geneva and her husband Jerome were high school sweethearts from the Aberdeen area. Jerome was from Warner and Geneva was from Brentford, and their lives were united in marriage for 62 years. Jerome enjoyed a successful law career in Flandreau following his service in the Marine Corps, which took him to the Pacific during World War II. Geneva and Jerome have 3 children, Colin, Kayla, and Elisa, who all attended and or received advanced degrees from SDSU. Hunting and fishing were favorite pastimes of the Hoag family, and it was Geneva's desire that others be afforded the same opportunities through conservation and education through wildlife and fisheries sciences. Geneva recently passed in the spring of 2002 at the age of 96. I am pleased to present this award to Chloe Karst from Watertown, South Dakota, pretty close to Aberdeen. But unfortunately, Chloe was not able to attend owing to a long-term prior commitments. I'd also like to present the Gerald B. Spahn Memorial Scholarship in Wildlife. This scholarship was established in 1966. Dr. Spahn was the first head of the Wildlife and Fisheries Sciences at SDSU. Dr. Spahn had a strong influence on the department and many of the students in the program during his years at SDSU. In 1964, the Spahn family, former students, and other friends helped establish the scholarship endowment in Dr. Spahn's name. The Memorial Award has been presented annually since that time. The recipient is selected on academic performance and must be a junior in wildlife sciences fisheries. Dr. Gerald Spahn was born in Chester, South Dakota in 1907. He earned his Bachelor of Science degree in entomology in 1931 and his Master's of Science in 1933. He was then employed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife as a junior refuge manager. In 1938, Dr. Spahn joined the faculty at SDSU to teach entomology and develop a curriculum in wildlife management. He received his doctorate for wildlife conservation from Iowa State College in Ames. And Dr. Spahn was the head of the entomology zoology department at SDSU from 1953 until 63. And he was appointed head of the newly developed Department of Wildlife Management. Dr. Spahn passed in 1963, 2 months after seeing the Department of Wildlife Management organized. Dr. Spahn's foresight led to the expansion of the graduate program in fisheries and wildlife and established the Wildlife Cooperative Research Unit on campus in 1963. I am pleased to present this award to Alex Miller from Fremont, Nebraska. Next, I'd like to present the award from James and Barbara Jessen Scholarship in Natural Resource Management. This scholarship was established in 2012. James Jessen holds SDSU degrees in wildlife fisheries and entomology, plus a doctorate from the University of Idaho. He worked as a research liaison between agricultural chemical companies and land-grant universities. Barbara Jensen graduated from SDSU in 1967 with a degree in early childhood education and later added a master's degree from Washington State. She had a career in education and human service management. Jensen's sons, Andy and Clay, earned degrees from SDSU in 2000 and 2002. I'm pleased to present this award to Kaylee Loger. The last award that I get to present is the Jeffrey and Pamela Donahoe Scholarship in the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries Sciences. The scholarship was established in 2010. Jeffrey Donahoe is a Sioux Falls native and grew up hunting and fishing with his father. Jeff is an Eagle Scout and former Scout leader. Jeff earned his bachelor's degree in Wildlife and Fisheries Sciences from SDSU in 1975. Jeff began his career with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in 78 and earned his master's degree in public administration in 87. Jeff went on to serve as the chief of the Division of Realty in Washington, D.C., and served as the secretary of the Migratory Bird Conservation Commission from 1994 to 2003. Jeff retired after his role as a special assistant in the National Wildlife Rescue System with U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and he continues to enjoy hunting and fishing with his sons today. Pamela Donahoe is a native of Midland, Texas. I'm also from Texas, and met Jeff while working in Atlanta, Georgia. Pam graduated from Angelo State University, now affiliated with Texas Tech University, go Red Raiders, with a degree in journalism and business. Pam's career includes positions in marketing and public relations. Pam is also an active volunteer and fundraises for high school band in Arlington, Virginia. And the Donahoes have two sons, Joseph and Daniel. Joe is a graduate of SDSU. I am pleased to present this award to Cody Donnelly from Phillips, South Dakota.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to present Greenwich Upperland Endowment in Range Science. This scholarship was established in 2005. James A. Jennings graduated from Animal and Range Science Department of SDSU in 1952. He established the scholarship to encourage students to pursue a career in rangeland ecology and management, and also to encourage students returning to production agriculture to obtain a degree in range. These scholarships are supported by the South Dakota Society for Range Management section. James is a retired banker and rancher. He and his wife, Emily, living north of Spearfish, South Dakota. The couple have growing children, 4 growing children. Their 3 sons and their wives are all SDSU graduates. I'm pleased to present this award to following awardees. Alice Anderson from Miles City. Carissa Runers, Mamabini, Russ, Wisconsin. If I mispronounce your town, I apologize. Tyler Giltmarker from Brookings, South Dakota. Alexandra Matvek from Richfield, Minnesota. Madison Mueller from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Unfortunately, today, Madison is not presented, attending today's, where we have another arrangement, right? Yes. Okay. Caitlin Prisler from Roscoe, South Dakota.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Josh Leffler, and it is my pleasure to present the Jerome Norgan Water and Wildlife Conservation Scholarship to, we'll get to that in a second. I'm going to read the thing first. I'm going to go off script too. Endowed in 2004, this fund provides scholarships each year to undergraduate wildlife and fisheries science majors. Mr. Jerome Norgan was vitally interested in natural resources, and this endowment was provided by his estate. The recipient is based on academic excellence. Jerome Norgan was born in 1903 in Centerville, South Dakota. The family settled in McCook County and later moved to a farm in Lake County in 1942. Jerome graduated from Centerville High School, later served in the Army during World War II, and farmed for most of his life in Orland Township. During his lifetime, Jerome was an avid conservationist, gardener, and a keeper of honeybees. He was also a poet-philosopher who enjoyed writing on the quandaries of nature, life, death, and humanity himself. I'm pleased to present this award to Micah Hunter from Riceville, Iowa. My state abbreviation. So the next award is the Kringen Family Scholarship in Ecology. And this scholarship was established in 2003. Would you like to? Okay, all right. The donor is David Kringen, who's standing right here today in this very room. He received his bachelor's degree in wildlife and fisheries in 1991 and in environmental management in 1995. David went on to earn a master's in agronomy in 1998. David is currently a water resources field specialist at South Dakota State University with an appointment in natural resource management, as well as agricultural biotechnology and engineering right here in Brookings. So I am pleased to present this award, the award this year, to Kevin Jennings of Marshall, Minnesota. You get it. The next award is the Lake Campbell Wildlife Club Scholarship, Mound City. The scholarship was established in 1976 by the Lake Campbell Wildlife Club in Mound City, South Dakota, because they strongly believe that education and educational opportunities are important to sound conservation. Since that time, the club has annually presented a scholarship to wildlife and fisheries sciences majors at South Dakota State University. The scholarship, based on academic performance, goes to a junior who's a South Dakota resident. The club prefers that someone from the north central region of the state be selected for this award. The award this year goes to Taya Clarenbeck of T, South Dakota. Even though he is not from the north central region, you can still have the award. The next award, this one's still mine, right? Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. The next award is the Larry and Joe Collenmine Scholarship in Wildlife and Fisheries Sciences. Endowed in 2005, this fund provides a scholarship to a sophomore or junior wildlife and fisheries sciences major. Larry, an alumnus of the department, has a strong interest in rewarding natural resource students for academic performance. Larry had a long and productive career in natural resources. He grew up in Brookings and graduated from Brookings High School and received a bachelor's in 1966 and master's in 1968 in wildlife and fisheries sciences from this department. During his career, Larry was employed by the Saskatchewan Fisheries Research Laboratory, South Dakota Department of Game, Fish and Parks, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, U.S. National Park Service, and the U.S. Geological Survey. Should probably get an award for that on his own. He's now retired. His career primarily focused on fisheries and other aquatic ecology issues in the Missouri River, on boreal lakes and reservoirs in Saskatchewan, Minnesota, and Michigan. Joe Betty Vos Kallenman graduated from Brookings High School in 1961, attended SDSU, and received a bachelor's from Metro State University in St. Paul, Minnesota in 1984. In 1986, at their 25th high school class reunion, Joe and Larry re-met and married a year later. They live in Spearfish, South Dakota, and have 2 grandchildren. I'm pleased to present the award this year to Kaden Kreutzfeldt from Woolsey, South Dakota. I'm good. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bruce Eichhorst. So have the pleasure of presenting the next award. So this is the McCook Lake Isaac Walton League Scholarship. The scholarship was established in 1994. McCook Lake Isaac Walton League chapter was chartered on July 6, 1936. McCook Lake Isaac Walton League and the league provides numerous scholarships annually. The McCook Lake Isaac Walton League provided this endowment because of their commitment to natural resource management. The league wished to create a lasting scholarship program under the Isaac Walton name, and as a way for the McCook and Lake Isaac Walton League to leave its mark on conservation for and with coming generations. The chapter is a not-for-profit organization. All proceeds to the chapter are used for scientific, educational, and conservational purposes in the public interest. So I'm pleased to present this award to 3 recipients. Kaylee Bolin from Rapid City, South Dakota. I think Kaylee's still on her way back from a national meeting where she presented on her research. Peyton Lemmy from Volga. And then our third recipient is Corin Prim from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Oh, there's a note on here. Kaylee tried to attend this meeting, but she's on her way back from the Wildlife Society Annual Conference. She presented her research at the conference in Louisville, Kentucky. I bet it's a little bit warmer there.
All right, hi, I'm Laura Perkins, and if I'm up, we're more than halfway done. So you can applaud for that. No. All right, so the first award I'm presenting is the Passflower Undergraduate Research Award from the Native Plant Initiative. So this is a relatively new research award. It was established, this is our 2nd year, giving this out by an endowment from Rebecca Kurt Schwenke and Steve Schwenke. So they're natives of the Midwest. Rebecca and Steve are passionate about native plants and value the impact that native plant production and restoration can have on our landscape. Rebecca is a graduate of SDSU and Steve is from a farm family over in Minnesota. It's okay. So this award arose from conversations we had with the Schwenkes. They were really excited about the Native Plant Initiative and the work we were doing and decided the best way to really support that work is to help the next generation get going. So the award provides direct support to the student, provides support for the research, and then provides support for the students to travel and present their research at national meetings. Mentorship of the student is shared by members of the Native Plant Initiative. This year, Dr. Leffler is the research mentor. And I am pleased to present this award to Will Werner. Oh.
I would like to add that Laura Perkins is the brainchild of the Native Plant Initiative. So I think that deserves a round of applause.
All right, next up, the Paul and Jeanette Vose Scholarship in Wildlife and Research Sciences. The scholarship was established in 2012. Paul Vose served as professor of wildlife and the head of the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries Sciences at SDSU from 1974 to 1976. Before this time at SDSU, he received his BS from Kansas State College, served in the Korean War. Paul married Jeanette Kilzer, an elementary school teacher in Ames, Iowa in 1962. Paul received his MS from Southern Illinois and PhD from Iowa State. He then moved through the tenure ranks at Oregon State University. After Dr. Vo's time as department head at SDSU, he was the co-op unit leader at Oklahoma. Then he transferred to Washington, D.C. to become the supervisor of all of the co-op units in the U.S. He went on to serve as senior editor and assistant branch leader with the Information Transfer Center at Fort Collins, Colorado. Dr. Vose retired from the federal government in 1995, and he continued to serve in the Navy Reserve throughout his career and retired as a captain in 1987. I am pleased to present this award to Chloe Wiersma. I need bigger font or different glass. Okay, the next up is Paul E. Doc Nordstrom Scholarship in Park Management. This scholarship was established in 2019. Dr. Nordstrom was affectionately known as Doc by his advisees and students. Aren't we all affectionately known as Doc? Take a note, write that down. Okay, Nordstrom received his BA at the University of Montana and his MS and PhD degrees at Montana State University. Dr. Nordstrom began his teaching at SDSU in the fall of 1972. As an assistant professor in horticultural forestry, he headed the park management program for a decade. During his time at SDSU, he achieved the rank of full professor and held the position of head of the horticulture, forestry, landscape, and parks department, associate dean and director of resident instruction in the College of Ag and Biological Sciences, acting president for academic affairs, associate to the president, director of international programs, and director of the Center for Innovation. He then left SDSU to serve as the president of the University of Maine in Machias. I am pleased to present this award to Will Werner.
Good evening. My name is Sandy Smart, and I get the pleasure to present the next three awards. The Rock Hills Ranch Scholarship. Good friend of mine, Lyle and Garnett Perman, established the Rock Hills Ranch Scholarship in 2006 to encourage a student to choose a career that includes a focus on holistic management of South Dakota's largest resource, our grasslands. Lyle and Garnett and both their children, Luke and Kaiza, are SDSU graduates. Garnett, originally from Freeman, South Dakota, graduated in 1976 with a BS in biology with minors in German and athletic training. Lyle is a 1977 General Ag graduate. They both served on the Hobo Day Committee. Lyle and Garnett established their ranch near Lowry, South Dakota in 1976. The family's focus on range management and soil health is central to the diversified operation. Today, the ranch includes the original cow-calf enterprise, plus stocker, sheep, custom grazing, and crop enterprises. Throughout the years, the ranch has been involved with several organizations that promote management and preservation of grasslands. They have mentored others through holistic ranch tours, summer internships, and apprenticeships. Lyle and Luke have both served as resource people for the South Dakota Grassland Coalition Grazing School and as voices for soil health for the NRCS. In 2014, Rock Hills Ranch received the South Dakota Aldo Leopold Conservation Award and the National Cattlemen's Beef Association Environmental Stewardship Award. McDonald's also recognized the ranch for their flagship farmers program. I am pleased to present this award to Nicholas Busi from St. Paul, Nebraska, sorry. The Sioux Falls chapter, Isaac Walton League Scholarship in Wildlife and Fishery Sciences. So we've already heard a bit about the Isaac Walton League. This scholarship is from the Sioux Falls chapter, and it was established in 1959. The mission statement of the Sioux Falls chapter is to conserve, maintain, protect, and restore the soil, forest, water, and other natural resources of the United States and other lands, to promote means and opportunities for the education of public with respect to such resources and their enjoyment and wholesome utilization. The chapter has always taken great interest in undergraduate education. This scholarship goes to a junior from Eastern South Dakota. I am pleased to present this award to Kyler Dahl, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Unfortunately, Kyler is unable to attend the meeting tonight. Lastly, I'd like to present the Smithy I Award in Range Science. This award was established in 1990. The Smithy I Award is to recognize an outstanding rangeland ecology and management senior. Recipients of this award have demonstrated excellence over their time at SDSU. Often they have provided leadership among peers, participated in range judging and range club. The Smithy I Award is the highest accolade conferred on REM students. Western wheatgrass is the state grass of South Dakota. The word Smithii is part of its scientific name. The symbolism suggests qualities of leadership and dedication to science. I am pleased to present this year's award to Elise Anderson from Miles City, Montana.
In 2008, South Dakota, sorry, wrong one. Apologies. We'll get to that one in a second. So in 1996, the Conservation Officers Association began to annually provide this scholarship to a junior or senior undergraduate in the wildlife and fisheries sciences major, with a preference to someone interested in a law enforcement career. The purpose of the scholarship is to promote the professional status and understanding of wildlife conservation officers, other wildlife enforcement officers, and wildlife law enforcement in general, to foster and promote communication, cooperation, and professional relationships between conservation and enforcement officers and young people preparing to enter the profession, to recruit and develop a group of young people whose interest in the profession can be deepened and encouraged, and to identify and reward outstanding young people preparing for the profession. This year's recipient is Peter Nestor from Hartford, South Dakota. So now, the right one. In 2008, South Dakota Walleyes Unlimited began providing scholarships annually to undergraduates who are residents of South Dakota. South Dakota Walleyes Unlimited is dedicated to preserving, protecting, and improving all fisheries within the state of South Dakota. Through memberships, community involvement, and family participation, they seek to restore the forage base and create restocking programs that will benefit all South Dakota waters. South Dakota Walleyes Unlimited members love fishing and enjoy the beautiful lakes and rivers of South Dakota. They are making sure these pristine waters are available for years to come for their children and grandchildren. This year, there are two recipients, Jackson Tyndall from Belle Fourche, South Dakota, who was unable to attend this evening, and Sarah Hayden from Aberdeen, South Dakota. Thank you. One more.
Hello, it is my pleasure tonight to present the Society for Range Management's Freshman Scholarship. This scholarship was established in 1994 by the South Dakota section of the Society for Range Management. It's given to an underclassman majoring in rangeland ecology and management, and I am pleased to present this award tonight to John Sump. Second range scholarship here, the Society for Range Management's Tex Lewis Memorial Scholarship. This was established in 1986 and was initially called the James K. Tex Lewis Memorial Scholarship. Tex was a longtime range professor at SDSU. He retired after 35 years of service to the range livestock industry, rangeland conservation, and higher education as a teacher and researcher. The scope of his impact to the profession was highlighted when Tex received the Outstanding Achievement Award from the Society for Range Management and the Trail Boss Award from the South Dakota section of the Society for Range Management. He passed away in 2007. This scholarship is still provided by the South Dakota section of SRM in honor of Tex Lewis. Preference is given to upperclassmen who have demonstrated a sincere interest in rangeland ecology and management. Involvement in student activities and their character are also considered in the selection of this recipient, which means I am honored to present it to Caitlin Presler.
Everyone, I am pleased to present the Stephen M. Zabarth Scholarship in Wildlife Fishery Science. The scholarship was established in 2006 in support of the Jackrabbit Guarantee. Dr. Stephen Zabarth earned his degree at SDSU in 1988 in chemistry. He went on to dental school at the Medical College of Virginia and earned his doctorate of dental surgery in 1993. Dr. Zabarth now owns a dental practice in Winchester, Virginia, where he currently resides. I'm pleased to present this award to Kaylee Boland from Rapid City, South Dakota. As previously mentioned, Kaylee was presenting her research at the Wildlife Society. Next, I'm happy to present the Streeter Memorial Scholarship in Wildlife and Fisheries. Our donors, Bob and Karen Streeter, are they here?
But they're on Zoom.
Oh, they're on Zoom. We'll be on Zoom tonight. From Fort Collins, Colorado, and we're delighted to have them joining us. The Endowed Scholarship was established in 2001 to recognize South Dakota residents with a high academic and leadership potential. This award is in memory of Glenn and Mamie Streeter. Glenn and Mamie Streeter both grew up on the prairies of South Dakota and farmed near Madison, South Dakota. Glenn was recognized as a Soil Conservationist of the Year in 1972 for his restoration of degraded farmlands on the west shores of Lake Herman into highly productive lands with terraces, trees, grassed waterways, wetlands, and permanent wildlife habitats. Glenn and Mamie both derived much pleasure from seeing wildlife thrive on their land, and the desire of the Streeter family that the recipients of the scholarship emanating from this memorial will improve the lands of South Dakota for future generations. I'm pleased to present this scholarship to Jade Shamila from Okoma, South Dakota. All right, one more for me. What? Oh, for this one? Okay, excellent.
He came all the way from Hot Springs.
All right. I'm pleased to present the Thomas Pazartsky Scholarship in Range Science. The scholarship was initiated in 2015, and Dwayne is here to present the award. The year was 1961. A young man by the name of Dwayne Breyer was hired to be a soil conservationist for the USDA Soil Conservation Service in Pierre, South Dakota. For the first 2 years of his appointment, Dwayne trained under the people of Hughes County's Soil Conservation Service office. He learned how to write a conservation plan, how to administer and monitor it, truthfully, how to get his feet on the ground. From Pierre to McIntosh, Dwayne went. He arrived in 1963. Thomas Pizarski was the first guy to come over and visit him. Tom graduated from Utah State University after serving a stint in the United States military and was was the area range conservationist for the USDA Soil Conservation Service in Mobridge, South Dakota. It didn't take long for him to indoctrinate Dwayne into the processes and practices of conservation in the area. At the time, the Great Plains Conservation Program was up and going pretty strong, and everyone wanted to get more contracts. They would take the entire ranch, get aerial photos, and then take the ranch owners out to the property and go over the photographs they showed. The landowners would present their goals, and based on the goals, the conservation officers would build a conservation plan and work to implement it. This conservation puzzle that they continually working to piece together required a certain depth of knowledge, and Thomas had it. From range plan identification to agricultural practices of the area as per local precipitation zones. Of course, there were producers and protocols to follow, but Tom still made conservation work a lot of fun. Through the years, Dwayne learned more and more from Tom. I am pleased to present this scholarship to Allison Fisher from Watertown, South Dakota.
Dwayne, would you like to say a few words? You've come all the way here.
Okay.
Please.
Tom Pizarski was one of those fellows you meet early in life, especially as a professional in range conservation. And you never forget him. He was one of those guys that once he tied on to you, you performed or he wanted to know why. And it was just fantastic. He was very much a spark plug, you might say. When he got a hold of a rancher that was interested in some kind of conservation work, he never let loose of it. And the guy really appreciated it. He was one of those guys that kind of wear on you. And he just really did fine. He come out of North Dakota, somewhere south of the central North Dakota there, not very far from Canada. And I'm not sure how he got interested in native grass, but he never left it. And went to Utah State and got his degree. And he went to work in southern South Dakota, probably one of his first jobs on the Rosebud Reservation. We had a mission office in Mission, South Dakota. And I'd say in 3-4 years, everybody in Todd County knew Tom Pizarski. And I went up to McIntosh in 1963, and Tom was the range conservationist for SCS in Mobridge. And boy, he said, here's the guy I'm going to work on. And he never let me be. And at that time, we had a conservation program called the Great Plains Conservation Program. It was something that President Eisenhower had come up with because he had a trip to Abilene in the middle 50s, and he said, we can't tolerate this erosion anymore. Went back to Congress, and they come up with this program where you could have a 5 to 15-year contract with the rancher. And if you had $20,000 set aside in his name for conservation work on his ranch, nobody could touch that. It was one of those rare programs that really worked. And you'd go out to work with this individual, and Tom had all the background, and I've never seen him miss the ID on a plant. It was fun to be with him. And he was a great supporter for SRM, Society for Range Management. And he just recruited more people. And I think he went to about 90% of the SRM meetings until he got to the point he couldn't. It was a sight to behold because he could get supporters and he got people interested in producing grass, making grass drills, getting this stuff out so the conservation districts could make sure they could get this grass seeded. He told them how good this warm season and cool season grasses were, and they believed him. They never once doubted when he could come up with it. But we got a lot of grass drills going, and there are certain ones made. He got a lot of people very interested in native harvest. We went up in, let's see, the reservations right on the river. And what we were after was some green needle grass. So we got some grass seed producers in Nebraska to look at this. And here they come with their airplanes. And green needle gets ripe about 4th of July. So they'd fly in there about the end of June. And of course, at that time, there was thousands of acres of western wheat and green needle grass. And if you had a right moisture presentation for that year, oh my gosh, there was seeds galore. And here they come with 4 combines out of Nebraska and they harvest this green needle grass. And then about 3 weeks later, they could go after the western wheat. And it was just something to behold because then we had the grass seed to go do these rain seedings. And we also had some grass drills that could handle it. The biggest problem was in the end was how do you get big blue stems through a grass drill? And if any of you have ever tried that, you almost lose your mind making this work with conventional drills. But once we got some of these guys interested, all of a sudden the lights would come on. And they'd come along and they'd take the fluted feed out of a John Deere drill and they'd make a flat bottom on it and they'd put a sliding floor in that thing. So here this big blue stem and Indian grass could go through because there was a squirrel cage right above that opening. And it was turning and it was only missing the bottom of the drill, 1/4 inch. And it brushed these seeds over that. And then we put on about a 2-inch seed tube. So there was nothing, even a cobweb didn't stop that. So the grass went down through that. And all of a sudden, in about 2-3 weeks, by gosh, there was something growing. Especially if it rained. So it was great. And Tom, he was probably one of my, if not my best mentor. And that was worth the whole thing. So congratulations on what you're doing and keep it up.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Bill Severud. It's such a pleasure to see so many former and current students in the room. I'm very proud of all of you, hopefully some future students as well. My current students, your quiz 2 exam scores are online now, in case you didn't see the email earlier. I think that if you saw the email, you probably won't be too mad at me, but yeah, you all did great. So I am here to introduce the Wilbur Allen Scholarship in Wildlife and Fisheries Sciences. The Wilbur Allen Scholarship Fund in Wildlife Sciences was established in 1984 by Elizabeth Allen in memory of her husband. Wilbur Allen was a dedicated wildlife conservationist, scientist, outdoorsman, and sportsman. Wilbur revolutionized the archery industry with his invention of the compound bow. Patented in 1969, the compound bow has been accepted as the standard of the modern archery industry. This endowment allows the department to provide scholarships to undergraduate wildlife and fisheries majors who will continue Wilbur's legacy of ingenuity and passion for fish and wildlife conservation. So get inventing, all of you. I'm pleased to present this scholarship to several individuals. First of all, being Brindy Bolender of Winter, South Dakota. Next, Jade Mella of Wacoma, South Dakota. Next is Seith Gillickson of Rapid City, South Dakota. Jack Linneman of Hartford, South Dakota, who is not in attendance tonight. Elizabeth Moldenhauer of Kenmare, North Dakota. Emma Schward of Jordan, Minnesota. Go Minnesota. And Louis Seiler of St. Anthony, Minnesota. All right, the next award that I'll be presenting tonight is the 2090 Sportsman Club Scholarship. The scholarship was established in 2013. The 2090 Sportsman's Club was formed on June 20th, 1997 in South Dakota by Charles Rokusek as an educational and charitable nonprofit organization which will advance the education and science of sound natural resource management. It will also defend from waste and exploitation of the natural resources of our state and country in order to pass them on to the future generations and to uphold the ideal that natural resources are in the public domain, and its scholarship was established in 2013. I am pleased to present this scholarship to Annie Fedden of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And I also just want to say one more thing, that the Wildlife and Fisheries Conservation Club was left off of the group, the club slide. So I just want to shout out to some of the officers that are here and some of the members here. It's a long-standing club in the department. And yeah, come and join. So see you.
She said it, but it wasn't on the slide.
Hi, I'm Alex Miller, and this is Drew Lehman. We're two committee members off of the Delta Waterfowl Brookings Banded chapter. And this year, the committee voted to give 3 students $1,000 scholarships this year. The Brookings Banded chapter was started in 2019 with members who share a passion for waterfowl hunting and promoting conservation for migratory bird species. The chapter has made it their goal to provide funds from their World Heritage Funds to promote new hunting opportunities for all age groups. For the second year in a row, the chapter has brought out new youth hunters and students in the wildlife and fisheries majors from South Dakota State University to experience their first hunts in hopes to continue participation in hunting. The Brookings Banded chapter this year, as I said, 3 scholarships for $1,000 for students in the wildlife and fisheries majors that have a 3.0 GPA or above, with hopes to continue to award scholarships annually. Recipients were based off how hunting has impacted their life and their future goals in conservation. And the purpose of the scholarship is to promote future conservation work and to educate wildlife and fisheries majors on the benefits of hunting. Current and new members of wildlife and fisheries majors and other associated majors hold the future of conservation and hunting regulations across the country. And we want students to have the knowledge of what hunting is for their future careers in wildlife and fisheries field. I am pleased to present these scholarships to Louis Seiler from St. Anthony, Minnesota. Sophia. Yeah, that's a hard one, from Glencoe, Minnesota. And Chloe Wiersma from Peoria, Illinois.
prefer to have your photos taken, please. Okay. I just want to get back to my. So you may turn to one. Okay, yep, that's me. That's me. Okay, so I just wanted to share earlier, a few weeks ago, we also had the college level scholarship, and I just wanted to make everyone aware that a college ag, food and environmental sciences donors are very generous across all of our departments. And I just wanted to acknowledge these students, and this is one page out of 2 that received these scholarships a few weeks ago. And you can go to the next page, please. And I just wanted to say that we have a wonderful group of students in our department. I think you got a hint at that there's a lot of fun, clever, committed, passionate faculty to help educate them. And I hope they feel more comfortable with us. Like I've seen some people tonight for the first time without hats, made me very excited. So, and yeah, that's right. But I do want to thank one more time our donors, our esteemed guests from the university, everyone that has helped make this happen. It's really been a delight to be here with you and to know that we're all committed to our students and the department and the conservation of our natural resources for generations to come. Sure warms my heart. And you'll go, and so now here we also have a few awards that we haven't presented tonight, but we also wanted to acknowledge these grants and these folks because they do present, we do present these awards, but not every year. And what's the last one? And then again, really just congratulations. I hope you've had fun. I've had fun. It's wonderful to be all together. I just wish you all, I want a special shout out to everyone who's traveled to be with us. It's incredibly appreciated. And having you all here is just great. And I just want to wish you all a wonderful holiday season. I wish you safe travels, stay well, and good night. You may mute me, please.